Hi guys, the mourning period for Queen Elizabeth is almost at an end, and every day you think, things can't get any worse, can they? And they do. I had hoped that Sir Lindsay Hoyle, the Speaker of the House of Commons, would be less of a chocolate teapot outside his workplace, but I was wrong. He's just as useless operating in and out of Parliament. Here he was on the Laura Koonsberg show on the BBC, talking about the death of the Queen, and you will not believe what came out of his mouth.
It's been important to try and make sure we get it right, and it's about showing the respect and the dignity and doing it in the right way. And we should not allow anything to overshadow the most important event the world will ever see, and that's the funeral of Her Majesty. And the passing of Her Majesty has brought people together. So we shouldn't be distracted by others, and I think that's the problem that we're seeing. And people always want a different story and a different angle. What I want to do is keep focused. This is about the royal family. This is about their grief. This is about the people of this country coming together.
What the hell is he talking about here? So there's two things to say here about this. He doesn't want a distraction. He doesn't want people talking about other stories. There is a cost of living crisis. People are not able to pay their bills. People are not able to feed their families. For months now and for years now, many have been relying on food banks. And then we're hearing stories about how food banks are risking closure because they can't afford to keep them open. They can't afford to run fridges. So some food banks may close. But Lindsay Hoyle doesn't want you talking about that because it's a distraction. Businesses are closing because they can't afford the rising energy costs. And then we have this new phenomena of warm banks. Not food banks, but warm banks, where people will go, schools, hospitals, libraries, people will go there to keep warm. But don't talk about that either, because that's a distraction. And then he says this is the most important event the world will ever see. Now, if he had said this is the most important event for British people, yes, you could argue on that, but for the world will ever see, it's more important than the discovery of DNA in 1953, or the assassination of JFK in 63 and Martin Luther King in 1968, or the moon landing in 69, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989 and the Soviet Union in 1991, or the attack on the Twin Towers in 2001, or the arrival of Trump and Brexit in 2016, or the pandemic in 2020. So it's more important than any of these events. What planet is he living on? Queen Elizabeth was 96 years old. It was expected that she would pass away at some stage. I'm dumbfounded. So the Speaker of the House, once again, on something, I don't know what he's on, but he needs to get off it, whatever it is. Because he's saying absolute rubbish here. Don't talk about other events, because it would overshadow. Life goes on. The world doesn't stop because somebody has died. I'm not trying to be offensive or anything here. I don't want to be offensive, but it's a fact. People's bills still have to be paid. Children still have to be fed. Life goes on, and trying to ignore that is not what the leader of the house should be saying. Some two-pit journalist or gob on a stick can say this, but he is the Speaker of the House. He's supposed to show some sort of leadership here. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.